What's up, folks? I'm Private Hudson and this is Epic Tavern. It's an early access and I bought it for $25 during launch week, which was last September, and boy, that was a huge mistake. As usual, I didn't listen to my own advice when it comes to early access games. With rare exceptions like 7 Days to Die, They Are Billions, Darkest Dungeon, and a few others, games in this state are rarely worth buying. But I couldn't help myself. I love the concept. It's a game where you manage your own pub. Adventurers come to drink booze, eat food, and get some sleep. Once you build enough of a reputation with some of them, you can hire them and send them out on quests. Quests earn you gold, items, new adventurers, as well as upgrades for your tavern. The concept is brilliant, but when this game launched, it was one of the most bare-bones experiences that I've ever played. Almost every part of the game was a placeholder. Talk to an NPC, randomly generated backstories coming soon. Adventurers come back with loot. Well, the weapons never had any stats and also read item descriptions coming soon. Completed a quest that unlocked an upgrade for the tavern. Tavern upgrades coming soon. Two of my characters were broken and had unlimited skill points every time they leveled up. Also, it wasn't possible to remove debuffs. Adventurers go out on quests, they come back, they're tired. Makes sense. Logically, they should rest instead of going out on a new quest, so that's what I did. Swapped one guy out for another one, then that quest ended, my party comes back, a new day in the tavern passes, and the guy left behind is already growing bored and is contemplating leaving my tavern to join a different one while the tired debuff remains. What the fuck? Tired becomes very tired, and it was impossible to remove either one. Either you exhaust your party to death or have them leave. So I stopped playing the game, and unfortunately I was already past the Steam 2-hour refund policy. I waited a few months for the developers to release some updates, and again, unfortunately, updates for this game are few and far between. The developers also seem to put the majority of their focus on the game's writing. The quests are all manually written, there is no random generation involved. The bad thing is, when the game finally got an update, the devs claimed it would be compatible with older saves, but it wasn't, so I had the joy of rereading and re-experiencing all of the same quests that I've already completed. This update launched sometime around November. One of the biggest updates was that you could finally build an infirmary, so you could finally get rid of the debuffs. Great. I loaded my previous save, and despite already completing the infirmary quest, I still could not build one. Also, I had infinite gold now, and all the food and drinks in the tavern were being given away for free. I couldn't change any of the pricing, which is why I basically had to start a new game, because nothing fucking worked. With a new save, my experience was a little more positive. I no longer ran into the bug where my adventurers had infinite skill points, and I could finally build an infirmary. However, my tavern's menu reset every day, so I had to change it every day. Then I came across a game-breaking bug where the game would just get stuck on the quest map. There was no possible way to progress or return to the tavern screen. The party would never get back to the tavern. Many users on the Steam forums also reported this bug and kept emailing their save games to the developers. Finally, a new update came out and this bug was finally fixed. So I had the pleasure of restarting the game for the third fucking time. Redoing the same shit that I had already done twice before. All of the footage captured in this video comes from my third attempted playthrough. I deleted everything older than that, but it's still important to describe just how painfully slow the development process is coming along. In its current state, Epic Tavern is finally playable. Many of the bugs that I've mentioned have been fixed, and I was able to put a decent amount of time where I can finally experience and describe the gameplay without running into issues. And the gameplay, there basically isn't fucking any. All you do is just click around. People come to your bar, you click on them. They request food or booze or a room and you give it to them. Others just want to chat, and others have a new quest for you. All these actions use up action points, and once you're out of them, it's time to move on to the quest map. There you select what quests you want to do, as well as which adventurers you want to send out. Each quest tells you what skill is the most important when it comes to fulfilling the objective successfully. However, from my personal experience, it is always best to send out a balanced party, as your adventurers will run into random encounters on their way to the quest objective, or the quest objective itself may be layered and have several elements or parts to it that require other stats. I've almost never failed any of the random encounters or quest objectives when sending out a balanced group. Either way, aside from sometimes interesting quest writing, there is no real gameplay here. During the quest map, all you do is click to progress and click to roll the dice. Regardless if your party succeeds or fails, they will return to the tavern where there you go again. Resume clicking on patrons, giving them food, drink, so on and so forth until you run out of action points, and then you send out your party out for another quest. That's the entire game in a nutshell. Sure, items finally have descriptions and can improve stats. Sure, you can finally remove debuffs by sending adventurers to the infirmary. Sure, adventurers can level up and their stats can be increased, but overall, none of that really matters. Character classes are irrelevant as well. There aren't any relationships being developed between your adventurers or patrons. Two of the guys I have come from clans that are eternal enemies, yet sending them out together has no consequences. Epic Tavern has a very long way to go. Over the course of the 6 months that's been in early access so far, all that the devs have done is just add more writing via quests and finally make the game playable. But there isn't much to play here. Instead of focusing on adding more writing, they seriously need to be focusing on adding more features and actual gameplay. Since progress is going at a snail's pace, and there hasn't even been an actual update since December, I have a feeling that Epic Tavern is just going to get abandoned.